everybody was saying that this was Ricochet's best match on the main roster. I will agree to that. Think about that. Your best match on the main roster was against a part-timer who is new to the business. What is going on, everybody? It is I, the franchise, here, one half of this that we call the Royal Club Wrestling Podcast. It's a lot to get into today. This week in wrestling, SummerSlam officially over. We now are going into uncharted territory, in my opinion. I feel like we are definitely unsure with a lot of things that's going on in the world, in the universe that is the WWE. So this right here is going to be relatively I'm hoping that it's going to be a quick episode, but I do have a lot to discuss. So much so that this is going to be a two-part, because one subject matter needs its own time. Okay? And y'all should know what I'm referring to. So first things first, let's jump into the biggest night of the summer, which was SummerSlam last Saturday. If you happen to watch my immediate reaction on Instagram, which, by the way, is RCW_podcast. You heard my reaction to it. I felt like it was good, not the best of Triple H's premium live events that he's done. And after sitting for about a week now, and I rewatched it again, I still feel the same way. I still feel like this was not the best one. It was good, but it wasn't the best. So it's like at the bottom to me of the premium lives that Triple H has been in charge of. The highlights. So I'm going to discuss match of the night, moment of the night, feel good moment. So you have the OMG moment, the oh my God moment, and then you have the feel good moment. And then obviously we're going to end it with the best performer of the night. So match of the night to me, it's a three-way tie. It really is. Originally, I was going with Seth versus Finn for the match of the night because that was incredible. Those two put on a phenomenal match. But then you got the story of Cody and Brock, and you have that dynamic of Cody getting his ass handed to him. Like ragdogged, beaten. Surprised, like I thought Cody was going to bleed, but surprisingly, that wasn't the case. But that was a great story told between Brock and Cody. And it really showed the direction that they're going with Cody Rhodes. Clearly, the ultimate sign of respect is that of Brock Lesnar giving him his approval, which Triple H and them didn't know he was going to do this backstage. Triple H discussed it at the press conference that he was kind of thrown off. Like, I didn't know that Brock was going to do that. But it was great to see Brock Lesnar do that, because we get a lot of people in the wrestling community that feel like Brock doesn't put people over, that Brock doesn't do all these different things. And trust you me, Brock Lesnar definitely is the one that has put people over. He just never, ever gave anybody the stamp of approval. Like, he never did this. I think the last time you might have seen Brock shake and embrace someone on camera was Kurt Angle after the WrestleMania match between the two of them. But Cody versus Brock was a good one. Seth versus Finn was a good one as well. And Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. Even though I did say that this match was not going to live up to the hype or live up to the expectation that Gunther and Sheamus had, but it still was a great match. It told a great story. And we continue this reign of the ring general himself, Gunther. I'm going to get further into it because we did find out on Raw that Chad Gable will be the one who will be next up to face Gunther. And my thoughts on that will obviously come at that time. Moment of the night. OMG moment of the night. Obviously, it's clear as day what that is. And that's Jey Uso getting turned on by Jimmy. As Michael Cole said, and you heard it during the show, that Jimmy just did a Cain, Bible reference, Cain and Abel, to Jey Uso. I'm going to dive into that. That's the second part, because there's a lot that goes into the story that is the bloodline itself. Another moment of the night, the feel-good moment of the night. Obviously, it was when Io Sky cashed in her Money in the Bank briefcase on Bianca Belair. Apparently, Bianca Belair has the longest reigning record and now the shortest reigning record at 95 seconds, I believe. So she holds both records. And the performer of the night, I'm going to have to go with the ring general. But going back to the feel-good moment, another reason why it was such a feel-good moment was because of Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai being present at Io winning the title. She was on her Twitch, I believe, and she has spoke about what happened and how they called her the day of and was like, hey, so can you get down to Detroit? And she explained how she had to frantically get down there and was doing her makeup while she was on her way to Detroit, like in the car doing her makeup. But it was great to see that Dakota Kai is making her appearance on TV more. She was on SmackDown as well, even though she's not physically capable of performing, but just seeing her presence is good. So very happy to see that Dakota Kai was back. I'm a big Dakota Kai fan. So it was very good to see her there. And as I said, the best performer, hands down, will be Gunther, the ring general. I'll throw all the contestants for the match of the night. I would throw all of them in for performers of the night. Who I won't put in there, and I said this in the last episode, that if Ricochet lost to Logan Paul, yeah. So let's talk about that, because I have a lot to say about Ricochet. Let me start off by saying I am a Ricochet fan. I said this on the last episode, and I'm going to say it again. I am a Ricochet fan. So this may come off as hate, but this is coming from a fan's perspective of Ricochet. And it goes into a conversation that he had with Dave LaGreca on Busted Open prior to SummerSlam. There's a problem with Ricochet. And when I say there's a problem, I'm saying Ricochet as the character is too cookie cutter, too clean. He doesn't, I believe he said to Dave LaGreca that he wanted to show people that there's other ways of solving your problem other than out of anger. Now, I don't know about you, but when I seen this right here, and for those that are listening, what I am showing is the clip of, it's just a video, but it's the clip of Logan Paul speaking about Samantha Irvin, Ricochet's fiance. And I don't know about you, but if I am in the WWE and this man, y'all have been, it's clear as day that this could have been taken up a notch and been real personal. And Logan Paul said what he said about Samantha Irvin and how's it going to feel when your fiance, your girl is saying, and the winner is Logan Paul. Right then, we should have seen a side of Ricochet we never seen before. We should have. But we didn't. Then we have this.
Here's your winner, Logan Paul!
Now, again, for the people, that audio, but there's a video attached to it. That audio was Samantha Irvin announcing Logan Paul is a winner. And for the people who happen to see the video, you see her face. You see how disgusted she was in the fact that she had to do that. She had to sit there and utter those words while your fiance was sleeping because he got dropped. Now on Monday, they Busted Open alluded to, and I always refer to them because they are references that I go through. I listen to them. I listen to Don Tony to see if like we're all thinking in the same. If we're all thinking the same. Am I the only one that feels this way? No, because Busted Open, Bully, Mark Henry, and Dave LaGreca all said the same thing. On Monday night, Ricochet should have came out and Ricochet should have been on 1,000. He should have been like, they should have went further into this story. Now, I get it. Logan Paul, his contract is only requiring him to be on certain shows. But there can be exceptions. We've seen it with Brock. Brock's contract at one point, he was only limited to these certain events, these certain premium live shows. But then he kind of opened it up and he became more involved and was able to get into other aspects of the show. So they should have done that. But what did they do? Instead, Ricochet just basically goes to Adam Pearce, basically says, You seen what happened. And Adam Pearce was like, yeah, there's nothing I can do. The ref's ruling is final, which is complete and utter bull because we've seen in the past how they play this out. But Ricochet should have been on a warpath. He should have been like, until I get until I get justice for what happened, until I get my get back for what happened, I'm destroying everything. Anybody that comes in my way is going to get got, right? That's what they should have did. They didn't. Instead, he got involved in a fatal four-way for the Intercontinental title. You reward a person who lost by giving him an opportunity to possibly challenge for the Intercontinental title. Ricochet needs a makeover. I know Ricochet said that he wants to kind of do things differently and not go about the business of doing. No. He needs a makeover. He does. Something needs to happen. Because for you to not only get owned on the mic by Logan Paul, but in the match itself, Logan Paul outworked Ricochet, in my opinion. The man outworked Ricochet. Now, everybody said that this was Ricochet's coming out party. Everybody was saying that this was Ricochet's best match on the main roster. I will agree to that. Think about that. Your best match on the main roster was against a part-timer who is new to the business. And this was your best match. Now, grant, Logan Paul's big star, generates a lot of eyes. A lot of outside eyes will watch it because it's Logan Paul. But look at the expense. Look at what happened. Now Ricochet is in a position of we don't know what's going to happen with Ricochet. We have no idea. None whatsoever. So I also want to say you can blame the Ace for this. You could blame the Ace because the Ace has a tendency, and we discussed this, and if he was here, he would say the same thing. There's an inside joke of us cursing people. And that would be in the sense of we sit here and, for example, I'm the originator. So I'm gonna give y'all a little backstory. I'm the originator of this curse. I was a big Allen Iverson fan growing up. And it wasn't until after the finals that they went and played LA that I, turned around and I kind of distanced myself from him. And then Allen Iverson's career went down. We all know, if you follow basketball, Allen Iverson's career. And then ever since then, it's been like this thing where if I attach myself to a player, or if I disown a player, their career kind of goes down the spiral. Now, the Ace if the ace starts to like a player or like a person, their career kind of goes down this spiral. If he purchases a jersey or supports them by t-shirts or anything like that, you'll slowly start to see their career go down like this. Just go down. And so when I heard him utter the words about Ricochet, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and listen to his return, the ace that runs the place return to Royal Club. Or go back to the last episode that I did. I played what he said. And after that, we seen what happened. And we'll see what happens moving forward with Ricochet. So next up, let's talk about Tribal Combat. Let's talk about the main event. The issues that I had with the main event. Now, I recall me stating that I really wish that they would have gave more detail to the meaning behind Tribal Combat, because at the end of the day, it was basically a no holds barred, no disqualification match. But the way it was set up, the way they came in the center of the ring and embraced each other, you know, with the tap of the forehead, it felt though as if there was something sacred about this match. That this was something that was done in the Adewale family in the past. But there was never no explanation or details behind it. And I recall me saying that when I thought there was going to be no physical contact leading up to this, because when Solo flipped the table and was about to attack Jay, Roman stopped him as if to say, no, this is a tribal combat, so we have to respect the rules of tribal combat. You cannot interfere because this is pertaining to this. There's a level of respect within this tribal combat. And then what do we see at SummerSlam other than Solo interfering, Solo doing what he did, and then Jimmy interfering? Now, Jimmy interference, the minute I seen Solo, I kind of had a feeling that Jimmy was going to show up. I wish that they had more stuff with the elders involved. You know, you speak on the elders, but we don't see nothing. The only time we seen the elders was during the promo, the package video leading up to the match that they showed on Friday. And then they showed it again before the main event. But I wish that they did more with it, because I think they really could have done something special with tribal combat. I still feel like they're clicking. But that's a whole nother episode that I want to get into. So, following SummerSlam, we have a lot of stuff going on in the world of the WWE. We know who will be next to face the World Heavyweight Champion in Seth Rollins, and that will be one Shinsuke Nakamura, who turned on him did a heel turn on Monday. And I think that these two will probably have a epic match. I think that you get heel Nakamura, it will be good. It's a good look, you know. It's going to be interesting though, because everybody loves Nakamura's theme music and they sing along with Nakamura, and the sound is similar to Seth Rollins. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm believing that this is going to be the main event at Payback. Speaking of Payback, I don't know if this is going to be confirmed for Payback, but Gunther versus Chad Gable for the Intercontinental title. I believe Chad Gable will be the one to dethrone Gunther, but I don't think it's going to be at Payback. Here's why. I believe Payback is September 2nd, right? I believe it is. If I look at my calendar right here, it is going to be September 2nd, which is the first Saturday of September, obviously. And Gunther surpasses Honky Tonk Man on September 7th. Currently, right now, August 13th, he is 427 days as Intercontinental Champion. Honky Tonk Man held that title for 454 days. September 7th. What I can see happening, Gunther retains by some way, and then and then Chad Gable on a Raw beats Gunther. Sometimes we got to go back to when the titles used to change on shows instead of the premium live events. Just throwing that out there. What's next up for the American Nightmare is the question. Little tease of him and Dom, Dirty Dom again. Maybe Damian Priest. There's been rumors of a potential Bray Wyatt, Cody Rhodes feud. I wouldn't. If Bray is healthy enough, and prayers goes out to Bray, because I know that, reports did come out that Bray is recovering from a life-threatening illness, which is why he was sidelined for some time. So I'm glad to hear that he's, back and he's feeling better. They're projecting that he's supposed to be making a comeback soon. If you did Bray Wyatt versus Cody, I would love it to be where Bray is looking at Cody as everything that Bray wanted. He sees in Cody. Cody has the fan love. Cody is getting the opportunities that Bray wanted to have. But then I thought about something, because technically Bray was never drafted. And this is a stretch, but Karrion Kross on Friday, when he was cutting his vignette promo, he did say something, and it did make me think, what if Bray Wyatt, Karrion Kross, I seen a picture. It was Karrion Kross, Bray Wyatt, Dexter Lumis, and somebody else. But they created this faction with them. I wouldn't be upset if we had Karrion Kross and Bray Wyatt. I mean, what are they doing with Karrion Kross right now? What are you doing with Karrion Kross? And I think it'd be a different look for Bray. I think Bray can come back. Bray can potentially be a mastermind, kind of go back to the old Wyatt family look when he's just sitting in the chair, in the rocking chair. But that's kind of where he goes. And he may get physical once or twice, but not fully. So that's that. But I'm curious to see what happens with Cody. That's all. I'm not 100% sure what I can see. I would love to see a Cody and Bray feud, depending on how you go with it. Like I said, that angle about the, not like him being envious of Cody could go. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with Cody. Edge. Edge was on SmackDown. Edge came out, and next week will be the 25th year anniversary of the Rated R Superstar, and Edge will be taking on Sheamus next week. in Toronto. Obviously, that's where they're going to be. Very interesting that this would be it, but then I have to go back to Sheamus being very involved in Edge's return. Also, Sheamus and Edge having similar situations where Sheamus' career almost came to an end. But it will be great to see these two in the ring. They never had a match together, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Where does this go from here? Is this going to lead to a bigger story than what we're seeing with Edge right now? And since Edge has come back, I want to kind of give my thoughts on his comeback, because I know the Ace has been very outspoken on saying between Edge and Christian, Christian has had the better comeback story than Edge has. I also look at it like this. Edge is a Vince guy. Okay, so you have your Triple H guys and you have your Vince guys. Like you have your Heyman guys, you have this. So I feel like Edge, with the transition of power and creative control and all that between between Triple H and Vince, you've seen that a lot of people that were Vince guys kind of stepped away. You know, Brock, for a minute, there was even reports that Brock left the building when that whole debacle with Vince happened. But I feel though as if with Edge is a Vince guy. Like if you watch Edge's 24, he had said that, the other company had reached out to him. And he said, before I do anything, I have to talk to Vince. I owe Vince that. So I feel like he is one of those soldiers for Vince, like Undertaker was, like Brock is, like in Austin. They are soldiers to McMahon. So I feel like with the change, not to say that Edge is not up for the creative side of Triple H, but I just feel like his loyalty to Vince is kind of like my loyalty is there. If Vince wants me to do something, I'll do it for Vince, So that's why I think he's been kind of out of the loop, not really have been involved in much since the whole transaction or the transition between Triple H and Vince McMahon. But I still feel like Edge, it was great to see Edge back in the ring. But if I would say, I love tweener Edge. I don't love face Edge. I love tweener Edge. More heel, but I will go with tweener. I will go with the one that could be a face, could be a heel, right in the middle. Speaking of injuries, obviously with Edge, it appears though as if there's a number of WWE superstars who have been injured. And I want to talk about this and then dive into and then kind of wrap this up. So as you see right here, the photo, and for those that don't know, there's a photo on the screen for those that listen to audio, but I will read you the list for the audio audience only. Roman Reigns, who appeared on SmackDown and got physical. We did notice that during his match, he did take a bad bump, and you could tell because the way he was grimacing on his back. Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, Big E, the heartbreaking news about Big E, possibly his doctor telling him that he's highly recommending that he does not ever get back in the ring again. Breaks my heart to hear that news. I'm probably going to get into a whole nother situation, a whole nother topic with Big E probably later on. Check the Instagram to see if I say anything more about that. Randy Orton, Sami Zayn. We happen to see Sami Zayn's elbow. Sonya Deville, who announced on last Monday, that she had torn her ACL. Liv Morgan. I didn't know she was battling with an injury. Bayley, Dakota Kai, Braun Strowman, and as I stated earlier, Bray Wyatt. It's troubling to see that this list, and if you are looking, there's more people named on the list, but these are the notable names. I won't be surprised if we see more of these names kind of step back. Now, one of the big things is about with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They are the tag team champions. What do you do with these belts? We have seen a new look in the Street Profits, which I am all for, even though I have always said you needed to split Street Profits up. If you had any opportunity to do so, you should have done it at last year's WrestleMania after they battled the Usos. That was the opportune time for them to turn, or have one of them turn in the discussion. But I just really wish that I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if you see more big name stars kind of step back from getting as physical as they have been in the past, but they're still seen on TV. You're seeing that with Bayley. Obviously, Sami Zayn was written off. Kevin Owens, he wasn't there, obviously, on Raw. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward. But before I wrap this up, I do want to talk about the little bit of news that broke, supposed news, however you want to interpret this. WWE and Endeavor. As we all know, the WWE was purchased by Endeavor WrestleMania weekend, and their new name is TKO. There has been reports that have come out that Triple H is no longer going to be on the board of directors. That's because when they announced the board of directors, they named everybody, but there's one spot that's left, and they did not make that announcement of who that person is. So a lot of people feel like because they didn't announce that Triple H is on that board, that he's not on the board. Just have to wait and see. We do know that they are finalizing their deal with the merger. So it's just a wait and see thing, man. It is literally a wait and see thing. But I do not want to leave y'all I know that a lot of y'all have been waiting. I have not really spoke about it. What do I feel about the Bloodline storyline? Everything that happened from Tribal Combat to SmackDown. What do I have to say about it? That, my friends, is on the next episode. So, if you happen to like this video, man, make sure that you hit thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what y'all thought about SummerSlam, what y'all think is going to happen next with Cody Rhodes. What do y'all think about the Shinsuke turn? What is y'all thoughts on the Ricochet situation? What exactly do y'all see happening in everything? When is Damian Priest going to cash in his Money in the Bank? What do y'all think about the Edge 25th anniversary? How do y'all feel about Edge's comeback so far? What do y'all think about the Endeavor? Let me know in the comments what y'all think about this episode. And if you are new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And for everyone else, make sure that you have that notification bell turned on so you are getting updates of when more content is dropping. He is I am the franchise, one half of the Royal Club Wrestling Podcast. Make sure that you rate, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff to this here podcast. One of these days, we're going to surprise y'all, and me and the Ace will be back together. But until then, in the words of the American Nightmare, what do you guys want to talk about next? Y'all know what that is. Acknowledge the Bloodline. I'm out.
Are you freaking kidding me? Jimmy, what the hell did you do?